Hey everyone, in this section we look at the questions from the chapter on gross domestic product, or is popularly known as GDP. To give you a background, I will look at the data of gross domestic product of the US economy over a 10-year period. Gross domestic product means total production or total income in a country. The GDP numbers going up means the economy is doing better, getting more and more wealthier. GDP measures economic well being of a nation. Now, the GDP per capita, this one measures how the people in the country are doing over time, or what's the standard of living of the people in the country. This is an average of income. That means in 2024, the average income was 66,400 for the US economy. It's definitely overestimating as well as underestimating the incomes of the people in a nation. Now, we can also go to NBER and find the data on gross domestic product. So, question number one, I have the definition of nominal GDP as current year price times current year quantity. And here I'm calculating GDP using this market value approach, which is just price times quantity of all the goods added together. Now, the real GDP is base year price times current year quantity. We want to see how the productivity of a country changed over time without focusing on the price changes when we calculate real GDP. For year 2000, we have these two equal to each other. Now, these are my answer choices. The price index, this is defined as nominal GDP over real GDP times 100. For the year 2000, these two values are equal to each other, so my answer would be 100. Question number two, we are supposed to find out the real GDP for 2005, and my base year is 2007. So I'm going to multiply the base year price, which is 2007, times the current year quantity. So the base year price multiplied times the current year quantity. So 6 times 100, 5 times 50, and 2 times 100. Doing the math, this is our answer. Now the next one, question 3. We have to find out real GDP per capita between 2008 for 2008 and 2009 and find out the changes. The formula is real GDP over population. So for 2008 is 20,000 over 200. For 2009 is 40,000 over 400. These values are the same, so my answer is it's constant. Question number 4. We have to find out gross investment And I have written down the formula of GDP, which is consumption and gross investment and government expenses as well as net exports. Doing the math, this is going to be our answer. That's $3 trillion. Question 5. Joe and Pam are neighbors. Joe asks Pam to drive him to the airport. Before leaving, Joe pays for Pam to fill her car's gas tank at the local gas station. This is gonna be part included as gross domestic product because Joe purchased the gas. Okay. So any marketable transactions are calculated as part of GDP. Question 6 is asking about the nominal GDP, the real GDP, and the price index. The value of nominal GDP for year 3 is going to be the year 3 price and year 3 quantity. Because that's the formula here, we multiply current year price to current year quantity. This is just 450. The base year is year 1 because the price index for year 1 is 100 and the price index for the base year is, like we saw from this question, is always going to be 100. So to calculate the real gross domestic product, that's the next question. We are multiplying the year 1 price times the year 3 quantity. So that means it will be 10 times 15, that's 150. Now to find out the price index, we have to multiply the nominal GDP over the real GDP and then divide nominal over real and multiply times 100. So we have 450 over 150 times 100. My result is 300. Going to question 7, we would look at gross domestic product from the expenditure approach. We will include the following. This one, personal consumption expenses, that's 4,500. This is not included as part of gross domestic product. Next is gross private domestic investment, that will be 800. With that, we add government purchases of 950 plus net exports, which is the exports. From that, we subtract the imports. My result is 6,230.